as you would expect, there are liberals and just people losing their minds.
No way.
There was this one dude, I didn't think this was real. This, in fact, is real. Okay. This dude is crying.
I didn't think it was real either. I kept thinking this has to be a parody.
Chad, it's real and it's spectacular. We all have to watch it. Here we go.
I don't give a fuck what he wears.
It's real.
This man has been respectful to every leader in the world. Everybody. And you clowns want to fucking do that shit to him when he comes over here.
He's crying, you guys.
And then talk to him like shit and kick him out of the White House. You fucking disgraceful son of a bitches.
Oh my gosh.
I thought it was a parody. I'm like, the dude's got to have onions on his hands. I can't believe it, you guys. This guy came down from the cross and he came here to save all of us. And you guys are just jerks to him because he's the greatest.
Are these dudes? I swear. There's just.
He said he actually fought for the Ukrainians. If I read the thing earlier right, I think he said he was in the front lines for Ukraine.
I don't know. I have no idea. I just know that there's so much soy flowing through his veins.
So. I thought it was a parody. I'm like, is this a parody account of somebody?
They vote too. Like these people vote and they're going to vote in the midterm. So just be cognizant of that, you guys.
I've often wondered, like, okay, here's a really bad thing and a bad experience in my life, no matter what it is or how I feel. My first inclination is not to pick up the phone and let the world know what a bitch I am. Or whatever, you know.
And Selena Gomez you're going to Selena Gomez it.
God, they're taking all kids away.
Right. I cannot with these people. A dude, like, wow. He's never been with a woman. That guy's never been with a woman.
He has never felt the touch of a woman.
Never. And then there's James Carville, you guys. James Carville, who thinks that Trump putting America first means that he has syphilis. There's that.
Is madness. And I don't mean madness like I'm mad at you, you mad at me, you didn't say this. I'm talking about madness like King George III kind of madness. And it could be a combination of being a fat fucking slob, which of course he is.
All right.
It could be that can't sleep at night because his beached whale body can't allow the circulation it needs. I don't know. I'm not a sleep specialist or a medical doctor.
No, but
I think we should revisit the possibility of a syphilis diagnosis.
Oh God!
Can you even with this?
No.
I mean,
he looks like an alien. Does he not look like a gray? He looks like a gray.
He's not a medical doctor. But he's pretty sure that Trump has syphilis. It was the first time in years that he wasn't wearing like the LSU Granimals, at least I thought, until he panned down. I was like, oh, there's the LSU. There it is. There it is.
Louisiana State's like, oh, geez.
I cannot. Okay, so there was that. So apparently he thinks that he has syphilis. Okay, and then they trotted out, the libs trotted out Susan Rice.
As you do.
This is what you do, right? Because you never waste a tragedy, right? And so she was saying it was all a setup. It was just a setup yesterday. And she was saying that Zelensky had dignity and guts and she just undermined her own country. And she's basically like a mouthpiece for Ukraine. And then she was dissing America because this is what liberals do, right? This woman, she sounded like a Ukrainian official. It was just gross. But she did this lengthy interview with Nicole Wallace, which I will not. I can only play like a tiny bit of it. You know, I'm not going to replay her interview. You can go look it up. But on the left in this video that I'm playing, this is like a debunking video. On the left is Susan Rice from that Nicole Wallace interview. And then on the right is Marco Rubio providing sanity. So you guys can like see the side by side. So here's that.
What he was going to do. And I think, as he said at the end, because he can't, help himself, this was a setup for the cameras. It was a play to his base, but above all, it was a play to Vladimir Putin, to show fealty to Vladimir Putin.
For the last 10 days, in every engagement we've had with the Ukrainians, there's been complications in getting that point across, including the public statements that President Zelensky has made. But they insisted on coming to D.C. This agreement could have been signed 5 days ago, but they insisted on coming to Washington. And there was and should have been a very clear understanding. Don't come here and create a such scenario where you're going to start lecturing us about how diplomacy isn't going to work. President Zelensky took it in that direction, and it ended in a predictable outcome as a result. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather hear from Anne Rice. I'd be like, hey, Anne, tell me, do you think vampires could put an end to this? And she'd be like, hell yeah, they can. Freaking A.
That would be great. That would be good.
And freaking Brad Pitt would finish this thing off. Lestat,
Yes.
whatever his name was.
Lestat. I totally forgot that. And then Christie also weighed in, which he should never weigh in ever. He just should
cheap shot at him.
You're not
a medical expert. You don't know
I'm
what
not. You're right. I'm not. But he should totally avoid weighing in ever.
He should take some lean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he should totally do that. Anyways, here's Christie being Chris Christie.
And what I think the president should try to do now is to understand the part of the problem here is that he looks and sounds like an ally of Putin.
Oh, okay.
And, Secretary Rubio was saying, well, we got to get Putin to the table. Well, you can get someone to the table in a number of different ways. And it's not just through honey. Sometimes it's also through letting them know we're going to continue to stand with our friends. And you're not going to have any alternative but continue to have this war as well.
Is it Sid Irish was like, fat guy in a little coat?
He's like, of course you brought up honey. So don't eat so much.
Oh, Christie.
Again, I've never seen anybody who had weight loss surgery and it didn't work ever.
Right.
It at least worked a little bit somewhere.
They took my entire stomach out, and I can't.
Luckily, I had 4 of them.
I'm an actual cow. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, he has such severe TDS. Like it's like he is to Trump like Zelensky is to Putin, I think. Like the hate is so severe,
the thing is too, as I was explaining to people the other day, it's so business with Trump. Like Saudi Arabia. Okay. Yeah. We know what they did to Khashoggi. It was horrible. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but Trump goes, it's business.
Right.
We got to deal with these guys. It's business. And everybody else is going to deal with them. People dealt with them before when they were doing horrific things. When I'm gone, they'll deal with them. So I'm just going to deal with them. The only problem is with you dealing with them, it's somehow bad. If Trump solved cancer today, they'd be like, the libs would be out there going, I'm sorry, but I'm just pro-cancer. I can't believe he hurt these cancer cells.
Right. They'd be like, I'd rather have the cancer because he solved it, and that I can't deal with that. Yeah, I just can't. Okay, so then people obviously were protesting over the weekend too. The liberals were, because they are pro-Ukraine and anti-America. This is what these people, I just cannot wrap my brain around the fact that that's how they are on the left, but they are. And they were protesting in Vermont this weekend when JD Vance and his family were trying to have a family trip, and that you can't do that when you're JD Vance. So we have a little clip from that.
Following yesterday's fiasco there in the Oval Office with Ukrainian President Zelensky, there's some new video now we have showing the vice president being greeted by protesters holding anti-Vance, pro-Ukraine signs as he makes his way there to Vermont for a ski resort vacation. More protesters met the Vance family outside of the resort, and the family ultimately had to move to an undisclosed location.
Now, I wonder if these people that are protesting Vance understand that the Zelensky uses strong arm tactics to get people into the military. Like, that's one of the things that JD Vance brought up during the discussion. He brought up the tactics that he uses because, listen, men in Ukraine they're done. They're tired. They don't want to be doing this. So
a lot of them are dead.
Right.
Like Zelensky said at first, he didn't want to risk the 18 to like 24, 25-year-olds because he figured we're going to try to rebuild the country afterwards, and we can't have that. And look over at Russia. Russia's the same thing. They lost 1.5 to 2 million young people that aren't coming back. That doesn't even count the people at the front lines. There's a brain drain in all these countries, and these young men and women have left because out of fear of being dragged into something that they don't want a part of.
Right.